Hello there, everybody. Silentwisher here with a Silentwisher podcast. Working name, still deciding on what I'm going to name it, but we'll get there when we get there. In this episode, we're going to talk about things that I'd like to see added to Astroneer. So this is a gaming-focused episode of the podcast. So, first and foremost, more planets or galaxies. So, this doesn't have to be major at first, and it really doesn't have to be major ever, but let's just throw out a number. Let's say 10 total galaxies or whatever, or 10 total planet areas, I guess. All can, each one containing 5, 6, 7, 8 planets, whatever it is. And I'm sure they could come up with different biomes for each, but if not, it wouldn't be a big deal if there was repetitiveness to it as well. And when it comes time for the game servers for the game, it would be cool if maybe when the permission system comes into play for multiplayer, that you can maybe claim a planet or claim parts of a planet, something like that. That way, people can't mess with your stuff. I don't know, it's just a thought. That could be, jumped into even more. But so more planets, more galaxies, or galaxies would cover that as well. We touched on the multiplayer servers. Those are coming. We don't know what all they entail, other than that they're trying to make it to where Xbox players and PC players will be able to play together. We will see, of course. More ships and rovers. So first thing that comes to mind is when it comes to ships, for example, we have the large shuttle, which we can use to transport stuff. So those I would consider transport shuttles. What I would also like is a shuttle that is I just had a brain fart, that can act as like a mobile base and can be launched and relaunched on a planet, similar to how the shuttles work now, but basically like a mobile habitat, I guess, would be a good way to describe it. And it would still be able to travel from planet to planet. It's just, it also has that kind of landing zone hopping ability and provides power and oxygen on its own. So there's that. Rovers, kind of the same thing. I feel like there's the rovers that are the large rovers, the small rovers, the medium rovers, and the tractors. I think maybe, at least for now, have an extra large rover. So if I'm not mistaken, the current large rovers have 4 2-slot areas. So technically you could put 2 giant shredders on one, for example. So you can put you could usually put 2 full-size buildings on each large rover. That being said, I feel like something that's physically taller, larger, and everything would be really cool, as well as maybe even wider. So maybe take a rover and expand it outwards, double. So that way you could have 4 full-size buildings on it, something like that. Or actually, even better, do that, but also have a little bit of a gap on the rover to where somebody could stand, like, and walk around and stuff. It doesn't have to be big. It'd be like a catwalk type system, but and these would obviously be a lot slower, but these could be used as like a crawling base. These can be like a slow crawling mobile base type thing for somebody that doesn't necessarily want to build a static base. Like in this game, I feel like I would enjoy it better if I had the option of both. I like the idea of little outposts kind of all over the place, and then having my main base being mobile, but there's that as an idea. More items in general, so whether that's digging tool modifiers, character customization, you name it, just more things. I'm sure I can come up with more, but I just kind of left it at that. And some of these ideas are from my subscribers, for the record. Then some story. Like, yeah, there's some very loose story in the game, but I feel like the game doesn't really give you an idea on what's going on or what to do, really. Like, for example, I know one of the things you're supposed to be doing is hunting down these big purples or these core things, but it doesn't tell you that, and it doesn't tell you what's the worth of if you should explore all of the surface ones or not, or just go straight to the core, how the core works. It doesn't tell you anything like that. And then, of course, our little Astroneer dudes seem to speak their own language. So even if it's in their own language, some sort of story would be cool. And like, for example, the trade port gets sent off somewhere, right? That gets sent off to, I'm assuming, your orbital ship that you deploy from, either that or your home planet. That I would like to see some sort of video or interaction explaining how that works. Even if it's something small, that would be cool. New machines. So new machines would fall under like automation. So like, for example, an automatic resource farmer, say you could set up like a strip mine almost, and a little, like, kind of like the drill on the crane. It'll just sit there and it'll chug along and dig out a big, strip mine type setup. That would be cool. What else for new machines? Maybe machines that you can, have those resources go along like a conveyor belt and then be built into something automatically. Just an idea. I'm sure more will come to mind. And if you guys have ideas, leave them in the comments, of course. And then something I've been asking for a while are two things. One, Astroneer, or not Astroneer, rover brakes. The rovers need to have brakes on them so they don't slide. And I know it's a space game, fantasy, blah, blah, blah. But that just needs to be a thing. Like, it's a made-up game. It can have made-up brakes that make the vehicles stay stationary. So please add those. And then ground-penetrating radar. Some sort of either attachment for the Astroneer, rover, or both that will give you a kind of like a blip or something like that that shows you where resources are in the ground so you can start digging towards those. And it would have like a limited range. Like, I don't know. I don't know how else to describe it, but, just it'll have limited range. I don't even want to throw out a number out there because I don't know what seems fair and OP and all that, but that's my ideas for now. So if you guys have ideas, leave them in the comments, and I'll definitely send this video over to the devs if they don't see it already on their own, and hopefully we can get some ideas added to the game. That would be really cool. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of content. I know it's new to the channel, but a lot more content like this will be coming in the future. So like I said, hope you enjoy. And if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. I'm at 795 subscribers, trying to get to 1,000. So I'm almost there. I just need a little more help. I would appreciate every single person that's willing to help me out. And yeah, thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next one.